Coach, when you guys are down to your regular season finale here, what's the feeling going into this last game?
Yeah, I mean, always bittersweet, I think. Just, perfect timing, though, as far as Thanksgiving being this week. Kids are off of school, and I think you just look back and you're thankful for all the seniors, especially that what they've given to this program. Obviously, when the majority of them came here, when they signed up to come to North Texas, the staff wasn't a part of it. I wasn't a part of it, and so I'm thankful for those guys. You just look down the list and you see guys like J.P. Hadley, Mason Richards, Rod Burns, Dazion Carroll, John Davis, Kaylon Horton, Cajun Johnson, Christian Lee, Carson Kropp, Casey Maraca, Noah Rauschenberg. I mean, there's a ton of guys. Kevin Wood, just all these guys that have come here and given us their all. And even though it hasn't been perfect, I commend those guys for staying committed to the process, to buying in and allowing us to coach them really hard. And so, I think that this game is one that teaches you so much about life, and they all know it. Like, we faced a lot of adversity this year, a lot of adverse moments throughout the course of this season. But I think this prepares them to go into the future, whatever that is. And I think a couple of them, have a chance to continue to play football, and we'll do everything in our power to help that come to fruition. But just thankful for those guys and what they've done to help us start a foundation, and we'll build something that they're proud upon, and that they'll be able to come back and tailgate and enjoy these games with their buddies and watch a great brand of football at some point.
What are those seniors who did decide to stay and, after having the same coach for 3-4 years, decide to stay and get used to you and your staff? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I just think, everything that they were able to, give us that vote of confidence and help us, lay the foundation for this program going into a new conference and going into a conference that obviously, we've seen what it's about now. And I think we have a great idea of understanding, where we need to grow. I think we saw how close we were so many times against some premier teams this year. And so the margin of error in at this level of football is just so small, winning and losing, right? And we were able to play, really tightly with three teams that have a chance, or at least two teams right now that have a chance to make it to the conference championship, with, Memphis, being super close and losing a tight one to SMU last week. And so yeah, just thankful for those guys.
Does going out everybody talks about going out on a high note as a program when you're in this position. Do you feel that really helps a team as you go forward into the next year to win that last one?
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about momentum all the time. I've talked about momentum in these press conferences all year, positive momentum. It's a lot of fun to lead with positive momentum, not so much with negative momentum, right? And so yeah, we've seen glimpses of both. Unfortunately, it just we couldn't really get over the hump during a couple key times during the course of the year. I think we learned a lot about this team. I think this team has grown exponentially, but we still have to be able to take the next step. And I think we took a half step last week in getting back in the win column and finding a way to win a close game. I think we're still on both sides are lacking, a killer instinct. I think both sides had a chance last week to really put that game away. A couple different times, and you're driving down the field, getting the red area, and they get a sack fumble and able to reverse that. Then, I thought the special teams did a great job of pinning them back up 14 and us allowing them to go 99 yards. So there's 2 or 3 times that you saw, but then, just a gutsy, courageous, 4-minute drive there at the end. They had all 3 timeouts. They knew we were going to run the ball, and to see 4 backup offensive linemen in the game, and Oscar Attaway, get that ball downhill. Io get that ball downhill was something that I was super proud of, and us finding a way to win when. I mean, we've all done it, and we've seen it. We're all human beings, and you get the sense that it could have been, oh, here we go again, right? And so super proud of the way they stepped up and found a way to finish the game.
Do you guys feel like you have a lot of motivation just as a team and among your players to play well in this last game of the season?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, playing for a lot of people, playing for themselves. Hopefully we got a sense of self pride and self motivation, and if they don't go out and they're not proud of what they put on tape, then obviously they probably need to find another sport to play and find something else to do. They put too much time and effort. So, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think our mentality these last 2 weeks has been phenomenal in practice, and I think this week and being able to rest a little bit, get away from school, and to be able to just kind of focus on football will allow them to kind of recharge their batteries. I mean, we've been going at it for a lot of weeks straight, having that early bye week, and so I think the human body starts to break down at some point in a physical game, and then the mind follows it at times. But yeah, I was super encouraged by the way they practiced this morning.
Do you think you've seen like enough growth defensively that you're kind of confident going into this last game, especially next year with a lot of these younger guys on the staff?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I thought Coach Capone did a nice job of kind of mixing some stuff in last week, and I thought we created more negative plays last week, which was a huge deal, and Logan's interception was phenomenal. I mean, on tape, just to see the effort and him coming to the screen on tape. I mean, he was flying across the field and made a full-time decision and made a great catch for us to get his ball back right after we turned it over. And so, yeah, and I think just to see, that there was times, I mean, even in that second half, besides the long 99-yard drive, I mean, I thought they were fantastic and did a great job getting off the field on third downs. Did a nice job. And two, I thought they challenged us on the outside, on the perimeter, a little bit more than other teams have. And so it's good to see a guy like, Brian Nelson step up, and they took a lot of shots at a true freshman corner that hasn't played much, right? And was he in perfect position all the time? No, he wasn't, but he did a great job making some plays for us. So, yeah, I think you see the youth over there, on the back end being able to get in. And like I said, I mean, there's still a lot of, things that game reps will get corrected. I mean, they start seeing all these different things. I mean, it's good for that light bulb to go on for some of these young bucks. And so, yeah, and we were able to play. Desmond came in, Agia came in and played field goal for us. He's a guy that's done a great job in changing his body this offseason, getting stronger, and Colin Lewis was able to come in and play a lot of special teams. Hasn't got many reps this year, and was really happy with the way he performed. So to answer your question, yes.
Just heading into this final game, this is your first season as a head coach at this level. Just what did you learn as the season went on?
Yeah, we could sit here all day, and I could tell you about what I learned. And I think first and foremost is that these coaches have done a great job of pouring their heart and soul into it. And I think just at times, we probably didn't adjust fast enough on a couple different things. And so, I think that, it shows up in a hurry, especially, with a young team like we have right now. And not youth everywhere. I mean, I think, offensive line and running back and some of those things, I think that that definitely, we have some guys that have made plays here, and they continue to make plays here, and so proud of that. But I just think that the margin of error is so small right now, and so we got to do a good job of kind of locking it up a little bit, tighten things down, if you would, and being able to make sure that that some of these guys are ready to go a little bit earlier.
You've had a lot of guys step up this season, Chandler, Jamor Matlin. You also had a lot of younger guys that stood out on offensive defense. What about men besides that stood out this year?
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's a guy that, he's come in, he's earned everything he's gotten so far. He wasn't that high on the depth chart when he got here, and just kept working hard and making plays in practice, and practicing extremely hard every day. And I think he earned the respect of the quarterbacks first, and then gain that trust with them, that confidence that they're willing to throw him the ball, in key moments, key situations. And so yeah, I think between him and Jordan Smart as well, is a guy who stepped up and made some plays for us. And so I think Landon's just done a great job coming in, not worrying about how old he is, anybody's in front of him, just come to work every day, practice extremely hard, and good things have happened for him.
You mentioned what you've done on the defensive side of the ball with Coach Capone. You feel confident in what your defensive staff has done and carrying that forward into next season?
Yeah, I mean, we know we got to get better. I mean, that's not a secret. So, I mean, that's a pretty obvious question that we know we need to improve, and he knows that. He's the most competitive person in the world. He spends countless hours up here, and so yeah, we know. And there's a bunch of areas we need to get better on this team. But yes.
You're confident with the direction he's taken.
Yes.
As a defense. You know, you mentioned in your introductory press conference, and I went back and looked at it, that you felt like you could get this program to the top of the American Athletic Conference pretty quickly. When you mentioned that in your introductory press conference, after you've been through this first year, has anything that's happened along the way changed your perception of how quick it would be or where you guys are at?
No, not at all. And so, and two, do we need it? Are we there yet? Absolutely not. Like, I'll be the first one to admit that. I would be, be ludicrous if I sat up here and said we're there right now. And so, but yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that going through this now and just understanding, I mean, we need to build more depth on this team. We need to do a great job of retaining our guys, and everybody sees college football and what the landscape looks like this day and age. And so we got to do a great job of doing that. But I think we have key pieces, and it starts, with our strength program and Coach Keggins and being able to develop these guys and continue to get them bigger and faster and stronger. And then we got to recruit to that too. I mean, obviously, that's a part of the job that'll be highly valuable for us here in the next 3 to 4 months. Is we got to do a great job of evaluating and bringing some guys in here that can help us get to that point.
All right, and then just pivoting to Saturday, just what do you see out of UAB?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a team, and similar to last week, you turn on the tape and there's a ton of bright spots for these guys as well. I think that their offense is super explosive and has put up a ton of yards this year, both running the football, throwing the football, and so I think the consistency level for them, just like us, hasn't been there, and for whatever reason. But I think this is two teams that definitely need to be able to peak here at the end of their season. And so, but yeah, I mean, I think that us and Tulsa and UAB are just similar. I mean, you turn them on at times on the tape and shoot, they look as good as anybody we played this year. And then there's been some times they haven't been able to put it all together, just like we haven't. And so, yeah, I mean, a quality opponent with great coaches, and Coach Dilford's been around this game forever. I mean, he knows what good football looks like. And so, yeah, I mean, this will be a tough challenge for us this weekend.
You got that former Baylor quarterback, Jacob Zeno. What makes him so good? What have you seen?
Yeah, good player. I mean, big. I remember when I was, I can't remember if I was at Texas Tech or Incarnate Word, one of the two, but I remember going to San Antonio and watching him in high school. Just he looks the part. He's got a really live arm. He's able to make all the throws on the field. I mean, I think we offered him back in the day. Can't remember which spot I was at, but he was a no-brainer. You go out, you watch him for 10 minutes, and you're like, that's what it's supposed to look like coming off his hand. And so yeah, great player, great competitor. You can tell really on tape that he's the leader of that group, of that squad. And so yeah, we'll have our hands full with a great quarterback.
You mentioned the other day at your coaches show that NIL money is going to be a big factor for this program going forward. Why do you think that is?
That's for every program in America here going forward if you want to be relevant. So that won't just be us. That'll be all across the nation, and just, I mean, obviously if you paid attention. Now, too, at the same point, I think it's caused some controversy in some regards to certain programs, and they're a little bit, you got these rosters. You come in with some guys that have 1 year left, and they don't really care about the program, and the first sign something goes bad, it turns into negativity. And so I think, just like anything, I mean, it's managing now. It's not only managing, just kids that are 18 to 22-year-olds, but it's kids with a lot of money. And so I think it just throws another dynamic, another wrench in it, and it makes makes it tough. Like, I mean, you can look around every good program in America right now, and I would say, if there's not a head coach, at this level that say NIL is not important.
Does this program need to make some progress in that regard to give you guys
Yeah, I mean, I think it just continues to need to grow. You know, I think just that it's happened fast, and you know, it's something that's not going away in the near future, and so you know, we know that, and we know it's relevant to what's going on in recruiting, and we know, you know, that that things in recruiting have changed, and they've changed extremely fast. You know, within, you know, the portal and then NIL. So I just think anytime the pendulum swings so fast and you go from, hey, we can't transfer it all, to, you know, open the floodgates, and then, hey, we can't pay them at all, to open the floodgates, that you're going to have chaos like this.
Yeah, and you know, there's one group that's made a pretty significant investment in basketball here. You know, donated well over $100,000 to basketball. Do you feel like there's enough money around this program to go around to support you guys and basketball and everything else you guys need to fund as far as NIL goes?
Yeah, I think so. And so now it needs to be done, and needs to be, you know, well organized, and there needs to be a process to it. But yeah, I mean, I think you look at this place, and the amount of alumni that we have in this area, that definitely is possible.
Rogers and Macklin have had breakout seasons this year. How important is it to kind of ride their coattails going into the next season?
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is obviously a humbling game. Obviously, super proud of those two guys, of being able to show up in a big way this year. And I think, you know, for Chandler, I mean, I think he's just gotten better and better every week. I mean, just phenomenal as far as being able, you know, even under pressure, you look how good and consistent he's been when people do want to pressure him. We had to rely on his legs a little bit this year, and he's super tough. He's so competitive. Just to watch him compete at the quarterback position has been a pleasure. And then obviously, you know, you have a guy that's averaging, you know, what Jamori is for yards per catch right now. I mean, obviously, you've got to keep getting that ball to him down the field, and continue to make plays, and putting points on the board for this team. So this offense is a little bit different. You know, I think that depending on how people play us, it finds different people week to week. So really holistically, I've been proud of this receiving group. I mean, I think there's, you know, 8 of them that have proven that they can make big time plays for us here. And although sometimes, you know, it seems to rotate week by week, I think we feel really confident with 8 guys as far as being able to be playmakers.
You mentioned Brian Nelson earlier. I think if I looked at the math right, he's right at that edge where he's played 4 games this year. Do you guys play him in the finale?
No, we'll hold him. I mean, we'll hold his red shirt, and been a plan the whole time this year, you know, to be able to spot play a couple guys, you know, some of those young bucks, and some of them have played too much already, and so, but always want the best for the kiddo and his future, right? And so, especially if he's, you know, we're not going to waste it on playing a couple special teams here and there during the course of the year. And so he's a guy that progressed. We thought he got better throughout the season. Thought he earned an opportunity to get out there and compete, and I think those will be, you know, just super valuable game reps going into next year.
And one last guy I wanted to ask you about is Mason Richards is coming to the end of his time here. You mentioned him earlier, but he's a guy that had a unique story of moving up from the Division II level, played here, played defensive, and then he moved positions this year. What has he meant to you guys in this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mason is. I wish, you know, I could coach him for a lot more years. I wish we had a lot more guys with his mentality, his determination, and I think part of that's because of where he's came from, because of his story. I think, you know, he's been an underdog his whole life, and he has something to prove, and this won't be the end of his story. I mean, I think he can play football for a long time, and I obviously think he'll be super successful whatever he chooses to do after football. So yeah, and I think, you know, with it, you just see so many stories nowadays, you know, with the portal, and you got, you know, your stories of guys that were all conference and they go somewhere and then they sit somewhere and don't play at all, and then you got your stories of guys that, you know, make a great situation for themselves and go somewhere and able to contribute at a higher level. And so so that's the risk. I mean, there's a risk reward just like there is in anything else in life. And when you make that decision, you know, some of them have been, you know, positive, but a ton of them have been, you know, contrary to their, have been super negative.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Season the last one here. So what's
Yeah.
what's the feeling like going into this last game for you?
I feel like I'm calm. I don't know. That's probably the best way I can describe it. I feel like the natural thing would just be like nervous and like maybe even emotional, you know, for it being your last game. But I feel like I feel rather calm and just just ready to play. I feel like every team around the country, no matter where you're at, whether it be the national championship, conference championship, bowl game, you want to finish your season on a win. So that's just our number one goal.
I mean, what a journey it's been for you. Just as you kind of start to look back here at the end of your tenure here, just what do you think about it, and kind of what have you learned?
I was thinking about it last night. Coach Gary told us to take some time and reflect. This week, with the holiday being, Thanksgiving coming up, just take time to reflect. And I was just, man, like my time here has been like a dream. Like it's hard to explain, coming, from where I came from, and then, just everybody in the community, having a good response to me, always welcoming me to, everything, and my teammates and all the people that I've met since I've been here, and I've just had so many experiences I would never got, a chance to see, if I had stayed somewhere else. But that's why I'm so thankful for this university. It's just, I truly love this place. Like, it's just, that's the best I can say though. It's been a dream, truly. That's all I can say.
Have the coaching change here in the off season, still stay here, switch positions back to your natural position. Just, what was your motivation for staying here and seeing the Morris tenure through?
I felt like it was a bunch of things. It was just, a lot of guys decided to stay, and then, and obviously this place is my home. Like, truly, it's my home. So I leaving was never, an option for me, no matter what kind of defense they brought in, And then, just the coaching staff they brought in my position coach, Coach Gary, and just from meeting him right away, I knew that he, was a great coach and was going to help me get better at my craft every day and always push me. And also just the relationships that I built here, people like Jay Smooth, who's always been someone that's always been a huge mentor for me since I've been here. He's a guy, obviously he was the number 2 pick in the draft, and meeting him and just seeing how he operates and how he did his day-to-day life is very inspiring, and he always took me under his wing and tried to steer me in the right direction. And so there's just some things I just was never going to leave behind, and just North Texas is my home, and I know I wanted to graduate from here too. That was the number one thing probably. I'm very proud to say I'm being an alum of North Texas, so that was a huge thing for me.
And then you were a representative at the American Athletic Conference Media Days. Now you're a representative in the last press conference of the year.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to kind of be a leader for this team?
It's hard to put into words, because this is something that all those things you said has been my dreams when I first entered the portal and committed to this university. Like, those are 2 of the main goals I wanted to do. I wanted to go to the media day, because when you get selected for that, that means that not only the coaches but your teammates see you as a playmaker, an impact player, and then also just a great leader and someone they look to represent the university. So just getting here last summer, and then in just the course of a year, gaining that type of respect and trust from my teammates and coaches, it's very humbling. I'll never forget that. Being selected a captain, it's a huge deal, and I certainly didn't take it lightly. It's just a huge honor, and I'm grateful for it every day.
Is this kind of a unique senior class with you? I mean, you came in, it was kind of a unique story coming up from the Division II level. Rod walked on and ended up being a 2,000-yard receiver. Is this kind of a unique bunch of guys that you were able to play with this year?
Oh yeah, I knew that when I first got here. I've met these are some of the best players, the best players I've ever seen. Rod, just knowing his story, he was a walk-on. Now he's, one of the best receivers to ever play at this university. And that's saying something. We've had some great receivers come through here. Just seeing, somebody like him who, he had to take the hard route. He could have easily gave up, and that would have been the easy thing to do. Complain and, be upset that he didn't get a scholarship, but he chose to go the other route and, use that as motivation. I feel like that's like the main key for this senior class. There's a lot of guys that fit that same bill, and a lot of guys were overlooked, and underestimated, and they just use that as to their advantage. I feel like myself included, and there's countless other seniors like that as well, like JD. JD has battled a lot. He's battled injury, but JD is probably the most athletic person I've ever seen. Just a guy who's probably taller than me. He jumps 40 inches, runs probably like a 4.3. He's just, it's a freak of nature. And, it's just guys like that all around the team. It's just been fun to play with.
Hey, Rod, what's the feeling going into this last one, man?
Man, it's kind of crazy. But I was just telling him outside that I'm kind of happy with everything. I feel like I did everything I could. So it's kind of bittersweet.
I mean, if you look at your journey from, walk on to 2021 breakout to 2,000-yard receiver in your career, just, what do you look back at and kind of what have you learned?
My biggest takeaway is really just trying to take advantage of every opportunity. That's what I be telling like the young guys that's coming in and the young guys that's are here. You know what I'm saying? Just take full advantage of your opportunity, and when your name is called, you know what I'm saying, make sure you're ready.
Was this a unique batch of seniors? You're kind of an unusual story in the fact that you walked on and got to where you got. Mason was a guy that came from a D2 school. Was there just kind of an eclectic group of seniors here that really helped guide this team this year?
Yes, sir. I believe so. It's like we all came together, and even when we back in like 21 and 22, we been coming together as a team. And like the seniors, they just leaned on us, and we continue to lean on each other in that room, the seniors. And I feel like that's why the season has been going the way it has.
Did the unique backgrounds that you guys help motivate you as you guys guided this team through this year, kind of coming from the unusual backgrounds like that?
Yeah, for sure. Like when you know, like some of these guys, like how you just said, Mason came from a D2, and then obviously my stories, and then there's a couple more stories in there. Like you see those stories, and like that just make you want to work harder because you know that those guys didn't earn nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like they took a harder route to get to where they are, and like now we're the seniors, and like we're kind of the main players on the team. So like knowing that is just it's a good feeling that makes you want to go harder for them. You know what I'm saying? Like you putting it all on the line for your team.
Had the same coaching staff for a lot of your career. You decide to stay here when Eric Morris comes in. Just, going back to that decision, why did you do that? Why'd you stay?
Man, because I feel like I had unfinished business here, and I kind of always, you know what I'm saying, been loyal to the program ever since I came in 2018. I knew that I wanted to finish my career here, you know what I'm saying, regardless of, you know what I'm saying, any situation. So I feel like with Coach Morris and them came in that I was still going to have an opportunity to go out there and make plays, and I feel like it all worked out for its reasons.
And then just kind of looking at a team cinch, just what do you look back at for this season? And, it probably didn't go as well as y'all wanted it to, but what can you look back at and, kind of feel?
Yeah. I feel like we kind of set the foundation. Like, if you go back and look into and really watch those games, like, we was right there, you know what I'm saying? We lost a lot of games by one possession, you know what I'm saying? Literally, not even one possession, literally some plays, you know what I'm saying? So if you go back and look at certain games and you take one play away, you know what I'm saying, we could be victorious. So I just feel like we set the foundation and we installed in the younger guys that they got to keep, you know what I'm saying, staying together and keep believing and just keep pushing forward when adversity hits. And like I said earlier, take full advantage of all your opportunities because you never know.
Really, the leader of the receiver room, and Jamori Macklin has had a breakout season. What's the difference that you've seen with him this season to last?
Mac, I seen him grow, you know what I'm saying? Mac had to stay down and wait for his opportunity too. And he's been, you know what I'm saying, he's always been a dog though. Ever since he came in, I told him, I've been here for a couple years, and I feel like Mac was is the best receiver that, you know what I'm saying, we have got out of those out of the transfer room, you know what I'm saying? So man, Mac, he's gonna continue to elevate, make big time plays. He's a big time receiver, and man, shout out J Mac, that's my boy. I love him.
What's the motivation going into this last game for you guys?
Man, it's a good question. I would say just to go out there and put everything on the line, you know what I'm saying, like I have been doing, and to kind of enjoy it too, you know what I'm saying. This is going to be my last time playing at North Texas, and my story, I came a long way, and I remember being in that polo squad in 2018, registration year, I always knew that, you know what I'm saying, I'd be able to go out there and, you know what I'm saying, leave a legacy behind me. So that's my goal for this week, is just to continue to build on the legacy that I already left, and to finish the game healthy, and then, you know what I'm saying, give all the glory to God.
What do you see in UAB?
UAB, they're always a good team, you know what I'm saying, very physical. They got good defensive backs and safety, so, you know what I'm saying, we still just got to focus on us and go out there and do what we do. And like I've been saying against every other opponent, we'll be fine as long as we make our routine plays.
How important is it to stay ahead of the chains, and what's the key to that?
Facts. That's very important. As you guys can see, when we stay in front of the chains and move the ball, shoot, we the best offense in the country. I think still, even you know what I'm saying. Sometimes starting behind the chains, but if we just stay in front of the chains, nobody's gonna be able to stop us.
And then, you know, it's just Thanksgiving week. So what are you most thankful for, bud?
Man, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for this program. I'm thankful for you guys too, for like sharing my story and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of feel like, how can I say this? Like you guys kind of putting North Texas on spot to like kind of make them understand like my story, and then like for them like a scholarship. Like it kind of wouldn't have been if it wasn't for you guys. Who knows? I probably wouldn't have been on scholarship. So I feel like the media blew it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very thankful for that. And then I'm also just thankful for this university. Like I said, there's has showed me a lot of things, a lot of adversity, and like just not even on the football field in life. You know what I'm saying? It allowed me to get closer to God in these last 6 years I've been here. So I'm very thankful. I'm very blessed.
Confident in the future of the program going forward after you leave?
For sure, for sure. I'm gonna most definitely be back. You know what I'm saying, to support these guys. I feel like Coach Morris is taking the program in the right direction. They just got to continue to stay together and stay down.
All right, Carson. So this is the last one. So what's the feeling going into this last game?
Going into this last game,
Yep.
that's kind of crazy. It's been a long journey, and you know, grateful to be able to play for as long as I have. But it's wild that it's kind of it's already here. So yeah, definitely excited going into this last game, and want to end it on a good note.
Kind of mention it, kind of playing as long as you have. A lot of these seniors have had like really interesting stories to get to hear. Just what can you look back at and remember?
Getting to here, it was I started out at Oklahoma State. I was there for 3 seasons, and then COVID happened, and there's a lot of guys moving around, especially with that COVID year, and I took full advantage of that. Obviously, this is my 6th year, and so then with that being said, there's a lot of change happening at that time, so I wanted to change the scenery. So I ended up decided to come down here to North Texas, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. So.
What made it such a great decision?
I just love the guys, love the environment here, and it's a family atmosphere. It's hard to beat, It's been a great deal for me. So.
Yeah, like Rudy was mentioning, it's been kind of a ton of unique stories with you guys
Mm-hmm.
that are seniors. Rod walked on, Mason came up from a D2 school, which you don't see
Mm-hmm.
and succeed. Was this just an eclectic group of guys that really kind of came together and helped guide this program this year?
Right. Yeah, it's been a lot of guys came from all over the place, but that's what I love about it. Everyone has their own story, and that's what's kind of crazy about college football is everyone comes from different places and everyone's got their own journey. That's one of the most unique things about this sport. But yeah, we all came together, and like we're all family now, so no matter.
But in your experience, you've been around forever, was it a unique group, this batch of seniors?
This batch of seniors?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you said, everyone came from all over the place, and there's just like I said earlier, everyone's got their own journey, and everyone came from different places and came together for the better. So yeah.
And for these seniors to stay with the new coaching staff, the
Mm-hmm.
ones that did, just why did you stay, and what kind of did you learn throughout the season about this staff and this team?
Well, man, we were bought in. We want to be part of this program. We've been part of this program, and I feel like there was no reason to leave. This is our home, and we want to play for the Mean Green. You know what I mean? So we're all in on it.
You feel like guys' defense grew towards the end of the season?
Oh yeah,
got
definitely.
better?
I feel like it has. I feel like we've continued that steady climb, and hopefully I can pass that torch on to the young guys coming in next year, and we can continue that climb. I'll be able to look back and see everyone continuing to succeed in this defense.
So you were pretty confident in the way you guys grew and the way it's going forward?
Oh yeah, it's on a steady incline right now, and I think everything's on a really good path forward. So.
Just kind of looking back at your time here at North Texas, do you have like a specific memory that you'd care to share that like made this time special?
It's not one specific memory. It's just all the little things, really. I mean, obviously every game is huge, and it's great memories there. But it's the practices, the locker room stuff, the lifts, the off season. It's just the building that brotherhood. That's what it is. And you go back and you look at all that kind of stuff, and that's what gets you sentimental about it. You know what I mean? So it's all the little things for me.
What's the motivation going into the last game of the season
let's end it on a good note. You know what I mean? You got to end it out with a win and put everyone out with a positive note. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we're going out Saturday, trying to get a win like we do every Saturday. So,
What do you see out of UAB?
you know, they got a powerful run game. I think we got some stuff in our defensive scheme to help negate that, but just strap it up and play like we try to every Saturday. You know what I mean? Hard and physical and stop the run definitely this Saturday.
About that former Baylor quarterback, Jacob Zano, just what have you seen out of him in his breakout season?
You know, I haven't seen anything too crazy. I think he is a good player, but we face good players every Saturday, so we aren't too worried about any guy in particular. Just got to do our 1/11th on the field and everyone do their part. So.
And then you know it is Thanksgiving week, so what are you most thankful for, Carson?
Most thankful, just like I said earlier, just to be able to play this game as long as I have and have the support staff that I do, you know, and everyone just kind of around me and guided me to be where I'm at right now. Just extremely thankful for that. So, yeah.
You win this last game, you get to 5, and you come up one win short of a bowl game in the season. You had so many go down to the wire. Is that the thing that really it's kind of the thing that sticks in your guys' craws, just how close you were?
Yeah, it does hurt. It does hurt. But, you know, just like I said, we just got to come out and get the win this Saturday and end it on a good note. You know, you can't trip over what's behind you. So just keep powering forward.
All right, cool.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Carson.